Today we're going to be making a delicious fresh peach tea, and this is going to have a little bit of mint in it. It's a really good recipe. So it's a drink that you really enjoy having on a summer day, especially if you've got fresh peaches. We're going to start off today by boiling our water. In my case, I'm going to boil about 6 cups of water, and then we're going to add some tea bags and steep our tea for about 5 minutes. The next thing we're going to do is cut up our peaches. I'm using about 4 really ripe peaches, and I'm going to mine are so ripe, I'm just going to tear the skins right off. They're going to come right off my peach. So if you don't have super ripe peaches, then go ahead and just soak them in some boiling water for about a minute, and then take them out and the skins will come right off. But for me, these peaches have been sitting on the counter all night long, and they were already really ripe. So I'm going to go ahead and just take the skins off. This is an Alberta peach off my Alberta peach tree. These are really good peaches. And all I'm going to do is just cut this up. You want to cut up all your peaches and just get those ready for canning. As soon as your tea has started to boil, I go ahead and just turn off the stove, and then I add my tea bags directly to my tea. And you're going to let this steep, like I said, for about 5 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to take our peaches and about, I would say maybe to taste, I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons of honey. Just like so. And I'm going to put those over a low heat and start that cooking. Now my peaches are really, really ripe, so all I'm going to do is mash them up a little and let those start cooking. I chose nice ripe peaches for this. Now you can use peaches that aren't as ripe. You're probably going to have to cook them a little bit longer, but that's okay. It all works. And of course, the more ripe they are, the more natural sugar they're going to have. So for me, I have a couple different kinds of peach trees. So I've got peaches from a couple of those trees. I've got a little pixie peach and an Alberta peach tree. And so I use both of those, whatever's the most ripe. All right, so I'm just going to let this cook up. And after it cooks a little while, I'll go ahead and mash it some more. Now, if you want to use an immersion blender, that works as well. But the cooking process will really break this down quite a bit. So it started boiling. I'm going to go ahead and just turn it down a little bit to a medium heat. And I'm just going to let this cook a little while. I want these peaches to really break down and the honey to infuse with the peaches. Now, some people skip this cooking process. If they have really ripe peaches, they just add these. But I find that by cooking the peaches, you just get a much sweeter taste. If you notice this foaming that comes up from the peaches, so that always happens when you cook raw peaches. It just get some of those enzymes that are in ripe fruit out, and that's one of the reasons I like to cook my peaches for 5 or 10 minutes, just to get, as soon as it stops foaming, then I know that my peaches are going to be about done. You want to give them a stir every couple minutes just to make sure that your peaches don't stick, but there's a lot of water in these peaches, so I don't think anything's going to stick to the pan. So my peaches have cooked for about 10 minutes, so at this point I'm going to take about 3 mint leaves, and I'm going to kind of crush them up in my fingers. I want to release some of those oils, Then I'm going to go ahead and just tear them into little pieces and add those to the peaches. And I'm just going to let those cook with the peaches for another minute. That's all. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this off the stove and let it cool completely. Now at this point, I always add about, well, 1 ladle full of my tea to my, actually I'll put in a couple ladlefuls. But I'm going to add a little bit of my tea to this mixture. I just want it to be able to drain the best it can through the sieve. So I'm going to go ahead and just give this a stir, and it's going to continue. You need it to completely cool down. And I'll show you the next step after the tea and the peach mixture is all cooled down. So the next thing we need to do is strain this peach through a sieve. Now I really want to get a lot of these larger chunks out. So I'm just going to put this through a strainer. And I don't care if some of the chunks are in there, I just don't want all of them in there. And all I'm gonna do is just, as you can, I don't know if you can see, but it's already dripping out. I'm gonna help it along a little by just using a spoon and kind of push as much of the liquid through as possible. Now you can use this peach pulp when you're all done to make a, really delicious, muffins or something like that. And this is really nice to have on a nice hot day. So we're just going to infuse this for a little while. Our tea's cooled enough that we can go ahead and put some of this into our tea container. When I get some of it in here, I'll go ahead and pour it in. Now I'm going to see how much of this tea we're going to need. I'm going to pour some of my peach juice into my tea. So I'm going to go ahead and move this over here. I'm going to put this in my tea. I'm going to add the rest of what I can fit in here. Okay, we're going to start off by putting some ice cubes in a glass, just like this. And I'm going to pour some of my peach tea right inside of our glass, just like that. We're going to refrigerate the rest of this for about at least 4 hours, but I want to give this a try for you. I like to put a sprig of mint in mine, and then I'm also going to decorate it with a fresh peach. And there you go, peach tea. Peach tea, let's give it a try. Wow, that is so good. That is so good. And healthy. Now you can use any flavored tea you like. I just used a black tea, and then I used some fresh peaches off my tree, and it's just a wonderful, refreshing summer drink. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for, following this video. Thank you for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or ring the bell for future notifications. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Cheers.